Hi there, and welcome back again to Ministry Designs. In this video, we will be discussing the Advanced Contact Form widget and how to use it on your Ministry Designs website to build out registrations and forms and anything else that you use it for. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and click into our test form page that I have set up here already for us, and we'll enter into edit mode. Upon selecting into the page, I see that I have my widgets on the left-hand side with all my tools to edit, and I can see that if I come down to this widgets menu under basic, there is the advanced contact form widget right there. So once we code it onto your site, it is ready to go. So I can just click it and drag it directly onto this section that I have right here. I'm going to put this in this row right underneath the words registration form. So upon releasing my mouse, this is what I see. I can click on the form itself and go to the content menu on the right, and we're going to find all the settings for this advanced contact form. First setting is we can see where it says email to. So this is where I can actually choose where this form sends to. This is very important. So you can put in the email address of the person that you want this to send to. If you want to send this to multiple different email addresses, just separate them by a comma and a space to be able to differentiate between one email and the next. Also, we have a subject line. So if there's a specific subject that you want to show in the subject line on the receiving end, you can change that here. For instance, maybe registration from the website, or if it's a specific event, you put the name of the event in there just so the receiver will know what this form is going to be about there. Also, if we come down, you have action after form submission. So we have some actions after someone hits submit to submit the form. You have the ability to have this link you to another page, to a pop-up, a blog, a specific post, even a third-party URL. So if you're doing something with like a donation, or if you're doing like a registration and it has to be a payment afterwards, you can always redirect by doing open URL and then putting the URL in that little option there. So when you hit submit, it'll take you to the payment link. And also Lightbox allows you to see an image displayed on the page there. But also, we have the option for reset form. I recommend keeping reset form turned on, because if not, sometimes if you submit it and the form doesn't reset, the answers will still show and people get confused. So reset form is always a good thing to keep in mind as well. You have some spacing, how it reacts to the space around it, add some space on the top, bottom, sides, and then visibility, how this will react to different sizes of the screen. But if we scroll back up again to the advanced contact form, we also do see we have design here along with settings and design. There are just different presets you can control. Change the presets. You see it'll change colors, it'll change shape. This one's round. And you can actually assign a custom design and play with different settings and colors in that. All of that is in the Pages tab in that content menu on the right side. But to actually get into editing and creating our form, we can go to the orange edit button on the right in the content menu right there for the form. So I'll hit edit right now. Once I do that, everything else grays out except for my form that I have the ability to edit. And here I can click on all these options here, click around, select them, and you'll see on the left-hand side I have some widgets and some very specific form widgets that we can use to actually add content in little sections to our form. So you can actually add text boxes, images, dividers, and space, as well as rows into these little forms here. Rows come in handy if you ever want to divide up your space. So if you wanted to do like maybe 2 columns right here, instead of having them stack atop one another, you can put one field on the left and then one field on the right by using a 2-column row to divide that space up. And you can still do up to 3, 4, 5, or even 6 columns. Really kind of control these and lay it out the way you want. You have free reign to adjust those that way, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and undo that though. Get that out of there, like so. But beneath that, we have the form elements widgets, and here's where we can actually begin to edit our form. So first is a label. A label, all it is just a label. It's just a little text box. You can go drag it in. Content menu on the right has the settings. You can change this text styles and all these things as well. Text styles, like some are white, some are black, other colors. So if you change this, it'll just label whatever you have right there. Pretty straightforward. You can also grab an input. An input is anything you're going to put input content into. So like this is a name, email, these are inputs. If you drag one in, say I wanted to add one for address, I can just drag it and drop it in. You see the thin line tells me where I drop it. We'll drop an input in there, go to the content menu on the right for that input, and for placeholder, we'll type in like maybe, let's do phone number. How about that? Phone number. It says phone number there now. You can change it. So we'll say we want to make this a phone for instance, so then if it's required, it'll know to look for an accurate phone number. You can change the style of the text, different layouts, structure here, alignment, where it sits when you actually type in the field itself, and just some other settings here for that field. You can make it required so someone cannot hit submit without filling that in. Also a minimum length or a maximum length if you want to adjust those, and some space at the bottom too. But same thing like this one for email, it's still an input, it's just set to be an email type. Or this one here is just a text type because it's just the name. So different options that you have there. And again, you can divide those up with your rows, which is cool. But hidden input, similar idea. You can just drag things in here. It will not appear, but it is sent in the email. So if you wanted to have something, just put in the email. On the receiving end, you can do that there, kind of like a hidden message. There's also a text area here. If you drag a text area in, that's actually what this big message section is right here. Click on that. You can go to the menu on the right, see where it says placeholder. I can adjust this, maybe make this, prayer request or whatever you want there, and you see that will actually display in the text area. One thing I forgot to say as well is the name actually is very important as well. Even if we go to email, or for instance right here, email, the name of this property or this input is important. This is what's going to display on the receiving end. So whatever the name is, it'll have a name and then a colon and whatever they type in as its response. So you normally want your name and your placeholder to match. If I have this message right here and I'm asking for a prayer request, like so, and someone types in a prayer request, I want this to display prayer request in the name, so I'll know on the receiving end when I receive this email submission in the form, then I will see, okay, prayer request, colon, whatever they type in right here. So if I wanted to do that, I can hit the little pencil icon by name, and then we can type in prayer request. And you cannot use a space in this. Builder doesn't let you do it. It has to be all one connected word. So I can use an underscore, which is shift and then the button to the right of the 0 on your keyboard. We throw a little underscore in there, request, and apply. So now this is a prayer request, then whatever they type in. So you want to make sure that your name is on point with what you're asking. But next we have selection drop downs. I can drag this guy in here. Pretty cool. You can actually add different drop downs and selections. If you go ahead and say we add one, have like option A. Usually you keep those the same. Option B. Then we'll do option C. This is examples. So if there were 3 things that this person was going to be able to choose from, you can have them choose that there. And then you can have your name will be the question being asked. So it could be, which option, and then they'll choose 1, 2, or 3, which is pretty cool. So you can adjust these, see how they look, which is pretty nice as well. Good way to have some drop downs and some extra information there. Checkbox, just like this here is a checkbox, just an agreement. Check means yes, so you can put that on there. Radio buttons are next. Radio buttons are similar to the drop down of the selecting tool, but it just is a little bit more visual with the buttons. So same idea, you can add a new one. So if I wanted to do like, maybe we can edit these. This one means yes. Then we can even say this one means no. So now I have yes and no, and I can select which one I want to select right there. And then the question would be, say if we wanted to do, is this video helpful? There you go. And you can check yes, or if it's not, you can check no, but hopefully it is. But that's the idea, so then it will display the answer to the proposed question. And you can always use a label or even a text box up here if you ever wanted to put in like a little label again and say, hey, is this video helpful? Let's see. Is this helpful? Hit yes, then we're good to go. So just little things like that you can throw in there. Radio buttons, they have the option as well to be like horizontal or vertical. If I click on those again, you'll see on the right in the content menu. I can do horizontal layout. Now you see they're side by side, or vertical. You can add as much as you want in here. You can also make this required if need be. Last, we have a couple other things here. Attach file, if you wanted someone to attach a file, like a health form or whatever you have to the builder, or to the form, excuse me. You have one of these on there, it'll just attach a file for you. A submit button automatically comes on all of these. It's what submits the file. We have status message, which automatically comes. This will just tell you when the submission has gone through, if it was successful or if it failed. And then we also have Recaptcha as well. Google is You can use Google Recaptcha on your actual forms. That is if you know when you go to a website or try to fill out a form, it'll say, I am not a robot, or pick 3 pictures that have a stop sign, things like that for security, just to make sure that you're not getting spammed. You can actually set up a Google API by using the Recaptcha tool. If you just drag one in here, follow the instructions on the right, it'll give you the links of where to go, but you'll be able to secure your forms so not just anyone can fill those out or any spam bots can get in and start taking your, or not taking your information, but sending you spam all the time through your field, so on your form. So that really is the registration form, the advanced contact form. It's how it functions. You just drag these in and play with them. Some good examples of these, you can see some of them here. These are the examples that I normally use when people ask me questions. These guys did a fantastic job. You'll see I can come down. They have the 2 column rows here. They split that up, made it look really nice. They have the Recaptcha going on. I'm not a robot. Obviously, they see that. And you can go through all of these and see that maybe some of these have actual buttons. You can type in these, check them out, and design from there. So very cool, very effective use of the tool there. The advanced contact form is really, really useful. So if you don't have it and you want it, it's $50 one-time fee. Once again, $50 one-time fee for us to actually code it onto the site for you. And then it's there forever. It's just a widget. But if you do have it, take advantage of it, use it. Or excuse me, right here, advanced contact form. Very cool. And let us know if you have any other questions by reaching out to support@ministrydesigns.org. Thanks.